When I've gone to high school basketball games this year, and even some college games, presses work or are far too effective than they really should be. So I'm one who, I used to do a lot of pressing when I coached youth teams because they worked, because as a youth coach you can take advantage of players' lack of skill and lack of strength especially. But at the high school level, I would expect, especially varsity level players, which is all that I've watched, would have the skill to be able to handle a press in terms of dribbling and passing the ball. And also they should have the strength to be able to pass the ball across half court. So two things that I see players doing when they receive inbounds passes that affect their ability to handle a press are running to the corner and then catching the ball and dribbling back to the baseline. So the first one is, when I'm working with players to go against a press, I don't want them to start 5 feet from the baseline or 10 feet from the baseline to try to get open. Okay? And if I can get players to scoot all the way back, I don't want them to run immediately to the corner. So if I'm coming to the corner and receiving my out of bounds pass here, I'm giving the defense a good opportunity to trap me. I don't have much space that I can create backwards, and I don't have much space to beat the outside defensive player to the outside. So I want to work harder before I receive the ball to catch the ball to the middle third of the court. So I use the volleyball lines on the court for basketball players. So I want to try to catch the ball between the volleyball lines and not outside the volleyball lines. When I was a pressing team, we only trapped if they were outside the volleyball lines. If you were inside the volleyball lines, we didn't even bother to trap you. The second thing that I've noticed lately is players who are catching the ball in the middle of the court, they immediately dribble back to the baseline. So they come hard, they catch, and they take their first two dribbles away from where they want to go, before looking up the court or before trying to make a move. So they've taken away their greatest weapon, which is the threat of the dribble, and they haven't squared up. Because a lot of times if they're an aggressive pressing team, it's easiest to catch the ball and immediately make that next pass before the defense is rotated and before the defense is able to trap you. So those are two things that I've seen recently in high school games and even in a college game that I think hurt the offensive team and help the pressing team. So as a reminder, first thing, try to catch the ball middle third of the court. Second thing, try to catch the ball and pivot before dribbling. Don't dribble back to the baseline to put yourself under more pressure.